Better watch out.
No.
You better watch
not.
out. You better watch out. You better watch out.
God, I think there's spit on my sleeve now.
Probably. Hello.
God.
Hi. Look who's back.
It's that magical time of year again.
Back again.
Where Lee forces me to watch another fucking slasher.
Shady's back. Tell a friend.
Oh, Christ.
Black Christmas, the original one, is directed by Bob Clark and stars Olivia Hussey and Margot Kidder and John Saxon, and it tells the story of a sorority house, even, that there's a guy making creepy calls and killing people, and they're getting picked off. That's the movie. It's sort of a proto-slasher film. It's not really a slasher, but it paved the way for all the slasher films, and it's based on the urban legend of the babysitter and the boy, the guy upstairs making calls and being creepy. You have never seen this film before.
No.
I have seen this film recently, leading up to the new film that I saw and you all hated my review of. And I...
By the way, I still think it's fucking hilarious.
It is hilarious. So much fragile incel masculinity. It's hysterical. Anyway,
you're not gonna get shit.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Anyway, so this movie kind of paved the way for the slasher genre, and it's gonna make a hot take here. Get ready. All my Black Christmas reviews have hot takes. This is one of the best slasher films that exists, if not the best. I'm gonna say one of. I'll say one of. I don't know.
You kept
I'll be more realistic and say one of the best.
With the best slasher film
it's fine. It's one of the best. A top 5. Anyway,
so.
yeah, it's great, and it's great.
It's not.
And you should watch it. It's on Shudder. Hey. What are your thoughts, preliminary, before we dive in?
It was boring and it had a non-ending.
This is why you're not allowed on the channel anymore. This is why I don't have you on anymore.
Maybe don't have me just do slashers. I don't like slashers. It's a genre thing.
Anyway, let's dive in. First of all, a couple things. One, the reason Black Christmas is so good and so ahead of its time, for a couple reasons. One, it is arguably the most feminist slasher film.
Sure, okay, I can see that.
It is the first film of the genre to really portray women's problems as, like, actual problems and not inconveniences. It also tackles a lot of real-world issues like abortion and all that shit. And it's,
I mean, the abortion shit was pretty ham-fisted.
Not really. It's in there as a legitimate issue she has to deal with.
Sure, but especially when it was first brought up, it made me think of The Room. Just, oh, I have cancer.
Yeah, okay,
like,
fine.
It was very ham-fisted.
Fine, but you're forgetting that this movie was released 1 year after Roe v. Wade was passed.
Okay, putting it in context, sure, but...
That's really progressive and interesting and really cool.
Good on them for being progressive and interesting.
Yeah,
it wasn't done well.
By today's standards, it wasn't done well.
By today's standards.
Okay, but I'm saying
years later,
contextualize it. It's, in the context that it was released, this shit was all, like, major groundbreaking shit. And you have, in my opinion, the fact that the audience is privy to information that none of the characters are aware of is what makes this movie so interesting. Because as a viewer, you know from the first scene that Billy's hanging in the attic and he's there the whole time, and nobody else in the film knows that. So with that in mind, the entire film is given this really oppressive sense of dread because you know he's there, you know he's going to kill people, you know what he's planning to do, and
you just don't care. You just don't care that he's about to do all these things.
Fuck off. Margot Kidder is a babe in this.
There's exactly one character.
What?
She's the only one with any depth.
No!
All the rest of the characters are 2D as shit.
No!
Yes.
No! I'm getting mad. You do not shit on Margot Kidder in my channel.
I'm not saying anything about her actress. I'm talking about the writing. The writing was too deep.
Oh my god, I'm going to
She did good with her role. I will say, she did a good job with her role. It doesn't mean that the, 17 lines she had total in this movie gave her any depth.
Anyway, this movie is about women fighting back against male rage. It's really good.
Sure, I like the themes.
Yeah, they're awesome, and it works really well. It tackles those themes really well. They work super well in the context of this film, because you have Billy, who is this faceless representation of, stereotypical male rage and crazy bullshit.
Is he, though?
Yes! You have an insane man victimizing women in a place where they should be safe.
Sure, but we don't know shit about him.
It doesn't matter. You don't need to know about the killer. That's actually what makes it better. Because it makes it more, real. It makes it more interesting and intense, because real life, you don't get, oh, hey, this is, hello, I'm going to kill you. This is my tragic backstory.
Sure, but the audience does.
But
Even
you get enough of it.
Most of the time you find out.
You get enough of his backstory through the phone calls without having it shoved down your throat.
What are you even talking about? All the phone calls were nonsense.
No,
he was
they
saying
weren't.
Nothing. He was criticizing abortion and saying shit
He
about mom
wasn't
and dad.
criticizing abortion. He's talking about his past. He's got, versions of his past, and he's speaking as all of different people in his life. He's speaking as his little sister Agnes, who it seems he murdered, potentially. Murdered or something. It's not really clear what happened, but then he was abused by his parents as a result of that.
I didn't get that. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe I...
You have to listen to what he's saying, and then, again, this is mostly speculation based on the dialogue over the phone calls. But the fact that it's there means it is meant to be interpreted in certain ways.
All right, what I will say to you on that is that I was having trouble when trying to understand what he was saying.
That's fair.
I'll give you that. I'll concede on this point.
Okay.
I will just assume that you're right.
This is fair. I'll take the point. Hello. Honestly, those are my main things in the movie. I'm I love that it's this really progressive take on, women and sisterhood and female empowerment in the 70s when that wasn't a huge thing. And I mean, you had, it was not the first real final girl, I guess, but basically she is. She's told that, hey, there's a killer in the house, and what does she do? Instead of leaving, she grabs a fucking fireplace poker and goes up to try and save her sisters, who are already dead at that point, but it doesn't matter. Plus, it's got a great fucking kill with the glass unicorn.
Okay, the glass unicorn was excellent. I'll give it that.
That scene is so creepy.
That was a very good... No, creepy. That was fucking hilarious.
I hate you.
Someone is murdered with a literal sculpture of a unicorn. How is that not fun?
And it's horrifying because, it's happening right upstairs, and the only person who is, would be able to do anything is downstairs and can't hear it over Christmas carolers. That's creepy.
Yeah, if that happened in real life, it would be creepy. In a movie, it's hilarious.
God. Anyway, like I said, I really do love the themes of this movie. I love that it takes on...
I want to go back a moment. So
Sure.
You're going to put the glass unicorn up there with Freddy's claws or Jason's machete.
No,
the
I'm
glass
not
unicorn.
saying that it's an iconic weapon. I'm saying the scene is really good.
Oh, it's a good scene.
Yeah.
But it's not scary.
I love the movie's themes. I really fuck with them. I think that it is a wonderfully ahead of its time film, and mind you, it was critically panned when it came out.
Panned?
Just no one liked it. No
Okay.
one saw it. No one liked it. And over the years, it gained a cult following because, it deserves it. On top of, having these really awesome, pro-feminist themes and being really, really, really well, tackling them in a really well-done, subtle way, which is something I can't really say about the 2019 film. Billy's creepy as hell. The phone calls are super fucking creepy.
Phone calls were creepy, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and Billy, you never see you see his eye. That's it. It's this just faceless killer that represents the patriarchy, kind of, questionably. But I love that, and I think that the fact that the audience is, in on that information, they're kind of in on the joke before any characters are, it increases just the level of like dread you're feeling for these characters if you care about them, which if you didn't, fine, I concede on that. But if you find yourself attached to these characters, and like I said, that's why I like this movie, because these characters are written as just people. They're, they're not like caricatures really.
No, I'll give you that. None of them are caricatures. They didn't fall into like the the goth, the nerd.
Right, they don't fall into really tropes. Like they have like quirks about them, and some of them are written more intensely than others into that. But they're just women being written as women. They're sorority girls being written just as sorority girls.
Sure, I'll give you that.
And
it doesn't mean that they're more than 2D.
Fair, with the exception of Jess.
With the exception of Jess, she was well written.
Fine, okay, that's also fair. But like that's why I like this, because like the whole movie, it's like, hey, audience, we're gonna fill you in on this information right away.
See, but that has cons too. I mean, especially by today's standards, all that did was made it incredibly predictable.
But it didn't, because you didn't think it was going that direction.
Because I thought it was too dumb to go that direction.
Okay, but it goes back to the Hitchcock situation, where you have two people sitting at a table, and a bomb goes off under the table. That's surprise. But when you show the bomb before they sit down at the table, and you see that it has 5 minutes to go off, that's suspense. You're waiting for that bomb to go off the whole time. So this movie, by showing you right away, hey, Billy's up in this house in the attic, that is great. And on top of that, it also, going back to the themes real quick, it does kind of become this story about male ignorance of female trauma, in that you have these cops who are really not much of a help, in that they are sort of, they're either distracted by this fact that, this other little girl was murdered in the park, and not the fact that, like, several people have gone missing in this house. And even in the end, like, they leave this girl alone. While there's still a killer in the house, they never even find the girl who got plastic wrapped to death, and the last shot of the movie is just her still in the window. No one's found her. I think that that's really good. Anyway, point is, I like this movie a lot. I would say that it is a must-see. It is a classic, and everyone should watch it, especially because it's on Shudder.
Wow, you're really plugging Shudder pretty hard.
Please, pay me money.
Good for fan of slashers, I guess.
Okay.
Personally, I didn't like it, but I also don't like slashers, and you keep making me review them.
Guess what we're reviewing next? Black Christmas, the 2006 version. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. It's a Patreon link down in the description. Starting in the new year, I'm going to be updating those reward tiers with some really, really, really cool stuff, and I hope you all really like them, because I think you will. Be like all these cool people right here. Consider donating. Even $1 would help. I would really appreciate it. Even if you don't, though, thanks so much for watching anyway, and we'll see you soon.